You guys want to do a top 10?
Yeah. From the home office in Sioux City, Iowa.
From the home office in Sioux City, Iowa, here's our top 10 reasons that you might be a rodeo goat. And for you folks that would like to give us your input, you can go to our forum on the stock car site at racersreunion.com and find the post. It's a lively one. It's called You Might Be a Rodeo Goat.
84 responses up to now.
Yeah.
Only 84.
And put in your...
I thought there was only 82.
It's up to 84.
It's up to 84.
Put in your reasons that you think you might be a rodeo goat or someone that you know. So, and you never know. We might read them here on the air.
And we've set the bar pretty high last week.
Man, we did, didn't we?
We set the bar way up there.
If I could repeat number one last week, and my best Barney Fife does Jeff Foxworthy voice. If you ever ate brie cheese and thought it was lemon meringue pie,
you're in first place.
That was number one.
Hey, I had another Yankee encounter.
Oh, did you?
This past week.
Be careful now. There are Yankees among us. What happened? Tell us about it.
I had never seen or heard of a bagel, but Yankees love them to death.
You've never seen a bagel?
Well, I had seen one, but now they becoming common. But did y'all have them in Tennessee, bagels?
Yeah, we had bagels. Yeah, we had bagels.
Tennessee is north of where we were.
They had power in Tennessee too, didn't they?
Some places did.
We wear shoes.
Yeah. We got shoes when I was a kid.
We just wore them on Sunday and you had to tote them to the church house so they wouldn't get messed up.
We had two TVs, one sitting on top of the one that didn't work.
Had a spigot drove down in the front yard so people riding by would think we had running water.
Oh, man. So you got exposed to bagels, did you?
Exposed to bagels, ate 1.5 of them. Didn't know what they were.
Try the everything bagel, man. That's my favorite. I like everything bagel.
One of them was a blueberry flavor, or sort of looked like what we called gallberries. That grows wild.
To me, there's nothing better than an everything bagel with a fried egg and some bacon and mayonnaise on it and cheese. Holy moly, that makes me hungry.
Here, let's see. Patty Kay said, I grew up amongst them.
All right.
That's right. Sort of like stale donuts, Dave. You got it. You've got it.
You're cracking me up. Let's see if I can.
Rich says bagels suck. If you've ever said bagels suck, you might be a rodeo goat.
The things we get into here on this Goat Rodeo. All right, folks, here we go. Number 10. If you ever packed a dirt track with your passenger car, you might be a rodeo goat. All right, folks, number 9. The number 9 listed on our list tonight. If you've ever took a Greyhound to Darlington or a train to Rockingham, you might be a rodeo goat.
You know, Hamlet was like the biggest railroad center in the whole world. That's why they had trains there.
See, we had bagels in Tennessee. Y'all had Hamlet down here.
We had trains in Hamlet. I don't think they have trains there anymore, do they?
It's still that big, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever that is. Like a train airport.
Yeah, or a garage or whatever you call it.
A train airport.
Yeah, it's a train. That's a train airport, ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
maintenance
folks.
station.
Time for number 8. If you ever got locked in the restroom at Martinsville following a rainout, you might be a rodeo goat.
Didn't have any dye jail.
See, I'm just trying to think about this one. You know, did he? I'm not going to say his name on the air, but
hey, check out that music in the background.
I know it, but you can go ahead and admit to this, Dave. You can go ahead and admit to this, Dave, on the chat if you want to. I don't know how long he was locked in there, but it seems like it might have been a lengthy stay. Here's a very popular one, number 7. If you ever got lost leaving a racetrack, you might be a rodeo goat.
I've done that.
I think all of us have.
If the highway patrol ever sent you in the wrong direction after
On purpose.
then you've been to a race.
Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and
Charlotte.
they did that to me. They did that to me at Daytona.
Yeah, you wind up driving through people's backyards there at Charlotte. I mean, right through the yard.
When I went to the first Southern 500 in 1958 with my father and a couple other kids and a couple of adults, we came out of Darlington, and the highway patrol sent us the wrong way. And all of a sudden, we ended up in this town. Didn't have a road map or anything. I remember Dad pulled over. There was a guy raking leaves in this small town. He pulled over and said, "Where are we?" And the guy looked at him and said, "You're in Bishopville, South Carolina, garden spot of the South."
And now y'all ruining it.
All right, folks, number 6 on the list tonight. If you ever worked with a guy named Goaty, who had a best friend named Booger, you might be a rodeo goat. 6 and number 5. Where's number 5?
Now we enter the top 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, here we go.
Drum roll, Big D.
Here we go into the top 5. The number 5 reason. If you ever took a bath in a car wash after a race, then you might be a rodeo goat. How many have you done that?
If the car wash man has ever run you out of the car wash after a race, you might be a rodeo goat.
Yeah, it's happened.
Too nasty for the car wash.
Number 4. If your wife has bras that she only wears to dirt races, and your
wife might be a rodeo. Your wife might be one. Come to find out.
Number 3.
I might know some ladies that might have.
If you've ever paid your tire bill with an unsigned check, you might be a rodeo goat. Did you catch that one? Did you get that one? Everybody's quiet on that one. I don't know. I thought that was a good one.
Guilty party sitting in.
Okay. Number 2. If you've ever had to stop and bail water out of a hog pen to pour in the tow truck's leaking radiator, and you might be a rodeo
And the tow
goat.
truck was a 56 Dodge, one of them old kind that the hood raised up from the side. And so we went the rest of the way embarrassed. I was embarrassed to death with one side of the hood propped up on the tow truck, pulling into the speedway with half the hood up. Of course, it was, raised from the side.
That is embarrassing.
That was the height of embarrassment.
I mean, I can only imagine.
I was scarred for life after bailing the water out of the hog pen. We never had time to fix the tow truck. Nobody did back in the day. It was just you. When you left for the race, it was you and the Lord. That was all you had going for you.
All right, folks, this brings us up to number 1, and I thought maybe I'd already done this one, but I checked the last 2 top 10s we did, and we didn't do this one. I don't know how we missed it, but the number 1 reason that you might be a rodeo goat. If you ever hauled your mama to the racetrack in the back of a pickup, you might be a rodeo goat.
Because the cab was already full. The good seat was already taken.
Oh, my gosh. That's what, folks. That's your Racers Reunion members right there, folks.
Home office.
That came right from the home office, right off of the main page, right off of the forum. That's real life stuff right there. It's time now for news.
We have a bulletin. We have a walk-on.
We got a walk-on?
Had a walk-on into the top 10. Rhonda McKnight has won Miss Congeniality on tonight's top 10 because she stopped somewhere between Hickory and Statesville and got a clothespin off of an unknown individual's clothesline to put on the fuel line on the tow truck en route to a race. That's pretty hard to top.
And she does have a certain bra that she wears to the racetrack.
If you've ever snuck in somebody's backyard and stole a clothespin,
Rhonda, you are a rodeo goat.
yeah, you are Miss Congeniality of the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my gosh.
OMG.
OMG. Oh, LOL, OMG.
Rhonda is the first lady of vintage racing,
She
by
is.
the way.
She's
so,
the first lady. She is. That's a fact.
She can talk the talk and walk the walk.
She can do it. Man, I'll tell you what. All right, Bobby, is the old mailbag with us tonight?
Well, the old mailbag is here.
Is it hermetically sealed?
It's hermetically sealed. Let's see what we got in here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all hear that? Oh, that's a check. No, it's a bill. You gonna think we got the wrong mailbag? We got somebody's statement. We got Holmes Construction Company. Statement. Phew, I knew I should have done this. We can't have nothing nice, ladies and gentlemen. We just cannot have it. But
Popper, what have you done?
well, it was two eras that canceled each other out. This is the old mailbag, and it got put into Holmes Construction and Excavation Statement somehow or other. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, on our topical Daytona thing, I just thought about. I had outsmarted my own self on this one. I didn't realize. I didn't know.
Not hard.
Not hard at all.
How long did that take?
I didn't know I could pitch that good. I tell you what, struck my own self out. This is so topical, it is uncanny, ladies and gentlemen. This on our Daytona intro night for February. This comes from the Sunbelt Security Services, 500A International Speedway Boulevard, Daytona Beach, FL. Mr. Bobby Williamson, Post Office, Box 326, Charlotte, NC, the home of rock and roll. And our writer writes, Dear Bopper, thanks to you and random luck, we are finally able to understand the elements that perhaps defined our company. Is that my new music for this
I
segment?
want to know if that guy named Random Luck is some Charlotte also.
While
Down the street from
While I'm not at liberty to publicize specifics, chasing a rogue 1957 Ford around the Daytona International Speedway in the early 1960s put our technicians to work, as we could hardly suffer another embarrassing moment similar to the one in question. Multiple contracts and company pride were all jeopardized. Suffice it to say, we've never experienced anything like that in these past 49 years, and thank the Lord for that. I just added that part. After stumbling upon your radio show recently, there was little doubt we had, and this is a quote, found our man. You can deny it if you choose, but we both know the story. Again, thanks to you and your family, we have enjoyed the exclusive security contract with Daytona International Speedway and Parent International Speedway Corporation since 1962. As the world has become a more dangerous place, Sunbelt security can always be counted on. With kindest regards, I am sincerely yours, W. Seymour Butts Jr., CEO Sunbelt Security Systems. So what do you think W. Seymour is talking about? A rogue incident involving a 1957 Ford and Daytona International Speedway. In the early 1960s, my dad and my dear uncle, the same one who misled the Rockingham dirt track man, would go to Daytona every year for the races and so on. And he had his old car. My uncle's car was a 57 Ford Fairlane. Of course, that was fairly new in the early 60s. So they're down there. It was about the 62 race, I think, the one Fireball won and everything. and they were pitted in the infield. And after the race, they weren't pitted, they was parked watching the race or trying to see, which is a challenge at Daytona. But anyway, when the race got over, they got in the old car. And we called this car the Legend, by the way, Tim. That was name was she was a legend in her own time. They got in the Legend and crunk her up and was waiting in line to get out of there, you know, like you do after a race. And all of a sudden, Uncle Alton looks over at my dad and says, "We gonna put her on the speedway." Hit I made, put the pedal to the metal. The Legend roared out of the stalled traffic line onto Daytona Speedway, made 2 or 3 laps, and a bunch of little things like Jeeps with sirens come flying out the infield out of nowhere, and pretty soon they engulfed Uncle Alton in the 57 Ford. They pulled up beside him with everything they had blaring, and he rolled down his window and said, "Sir, I have drove around this track for the last 10 minutes trying to find the way out. Could you please point me to the gate?"
I wonder if it still works.
We have never had that happen in the last 49 years due to our superior security services from Sunbelt Security Systems, W. Seymour Butts. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you get caught in a tight spot, if you're good, you can be quick on your wits and just talk yourself right out of it.
That's good. There, you got it right out of the old mailbag.
Right out of the old mailbag. On the speedway at Daytona.
D, have we got a break queued up? All right. That's good, because we're going to take one. We'll take a break and come back and wrap this thing up.